Welcome back to BravoBricks. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the LEGO Smeagol and Deagol 181 piece set. That is a gift with purchase that released alongside the Shire on April 2nd, 2025. Now it is rated 18 plus, and I think that there's a couple reasons why it could be marked 18 plus, but I'll give you a hint. It's not because of the complexity of the set. There are 3 numbered bags, each that come with very few pieces, which is kind of strange. And for an 18 plus set, they probably could have gotten away with 1 to 2 bags. No biggie though, it's not really a mark against them. It's just kind of a weird thing that sticks out. Let's take a look at the minifigures first. Here we see Smeagol. Now, technically, both of these figures are exclusive to the set. However, the only new elements are a recolored Isaac Newton wig hairpiece, which I have a feeling is going to be available in other sets in the future. And also on top of that, we do get exclusive head prints for both figures. Now, both Smeagol and Deagol are getting exclusively printed heads for the set. Now, Smeagol's torso was previously used in a Harry Potter set as Mr. Filch, the caretaker. And of course, this figure has to have back printing. Look at that butt. Now that does look pretty good for me. When it comes to minifigure torsos, I always appreciate a little back printing, even if in the future it's covered up in capes and things like that, but something nice to get. Smeagol does feature 2 faces, one where he looks very nice and happy, the other where he's looking a little bit murderous. Maybe it's because it's his birthday and Deagol forgot to sing happy birthday. I don't know. I mean, I've only seen the movies like 100 times, so I just do not remember why he's got this evil face. Now, Deagol, on the other hand, Deagol is also having a repeated torso print. Now, this torso print is used more closely to the Lord of the Rings Middle-earth universe. This first showed up in the 103-16 Rivendell set that released a couple years ago for 500 smackaroonies, and it also released in the exact same way in Barad-dûr last year. So we do have this torso on Samwise Gamgee, but for hobbits, it works, so I really don't mind that at all. Deagol does feature this very funny face where it looks like he's kind of holding his breath, either because he's underwater or, well. Minifigures aside, let's look at the set as a whole. Probably less likely of a reason for you to purchase the set is the set itself, but you want the figures. So the set has a couple different things going for it. The first is that it's multi-tiered. We get an underwater section as well as an above water section. Underwater, we get a couple different details here and there. It is all set on a black stand. Is the black stand really necessary, or does it add to the overall image? Maybe. It does kind of make it look a little bit more sophisticated. The same could be said on the Star Wars dioramas that unfortunately are not being released anymore, and it was kind of the one Star Wars set that I was guaranteed to purchase. To bring it back to Lord of the Rings, the black stand that is attached to the set, it adds a little bit, nothing too crazy. It looks nice, and I think without it, maybe it would have looked a bit out of place and kind of like the scene was lacking, whereas the black kind of frames it up really nicely. Props to the designer on that. I think it was overall a pretty good decision to add the black all around the base. Underwater here, we've got clips to hold in Deagol as he holds onto his fishing pole and gets dragged along by a fish. Underneath that fish is the one ring. That's right, this one ring is the only one you could ever possibly get, except in the extra pieces, you get 2 extra rings, so that's always a plus. Next to that, we have a fern piece. And if you know anything about my history with LEGO, you know I go absolutely feral for that fern piece. I would probably kick a small child out of my way if there were ferns and they were preventing me from getting the ferns. Long story short, just stay out of the way if there's ferns involved. Above Deagol underwater, we have Smeagol, who is still in the boat and has a different fishing pole than the one that Deagol has. Smeagol, Deagol, I feel like I'm going back and forth. If I say the wrong name, it's not my fault. Above, we've got Smeagol still in the boat. He does have a different fishing pole, and I don't know exactly why they went with the decision to have 2 different types of fishing poles, but with this one, it's nice because there's a string attached to the top, and there's also a clear piece off to the side that you can clip the pole to, or you can clip the fishing string to, and that creates a more fluid, a more advanced looking scene, so that it kind of looks like the fishing pole and line are doing something rather than just kind of hanging off there to the side. So it's a good choice. I'm glad that they went with it. The boat does spin. Let's go. Now, the top half of the set can disconnect. It's kind of the way you build the set, but it is not designed to do that. It's just something that you can do. Off to the side of the embankment, we do have a very simple tree build. Let's take a step back and look at the set as a whole. If you were to purchase the Shire and you spent all that money on the Shire and you get this gift with purchase, what's something about it you could be happy about? Well, you get 2 extra hobbits for the Shire. And if you have both of their happy faces, or one happy, one drowning, and maybe still underwater, put them in the Shire and it still looks pretty good. It's a good way to have a more lively Shire scene. Outside of that, the rest of it is just fine. I have no idea if this is going to be a highly sought after set, but when you compare it to the Felby's gift with purchase from Barad-dûr, that gift with purchase still goes for over $100 on the aftermarket, and I don't think that this one's going to go for nearly that much once prices kind of stabilize a little bit. I think this one might fall in between the $70 to $80 range, depending on how much stock LEGO's got for this big Shire release. Rivendell, of course, did not have an exclusive gift with purchase. They just released Gollum and Frodo brickheads thrown in for free, and honestly, I think that's probably the way that I would prefer it. If you have a small set releasing the same day as your big set, then throw in the small one for free, especially if it's associated with the same IP. That way, if anybody really wants the small set that's attached to it, you can either fork over $15-20 for it, or you can get it thrown in for free with the big stuff. So that's something that I like. I know that that's probably not the most profitable way for LEGO to go forward, but you know, I really don't like the exclusivity stuff. So this set is marked 18 plus for some reason. And I think there's a couple reasons why it could be. Number one, it's attached to some pretty adult material. This scene is a murder scene. You can't spin it any other way. You can't just say, oh, look, you know, it's the hobbits, they're fishing. Oh, they're so cute. No, it's a murder scene. Not even like a quick and quiet murder. This is a strangulation, long, extended scene that then turns Smeagol into Gollum, and it's a horrifying scene. It could be that the set that it's attached to is 18 plus, but that doesn't really check out because in the past we've gotten plenty of 18 plus gift with purchases that are not then 18 plus themselves. So I really do think it's probably for the adult material in the scene. It's a super weird scene for them to pick to turn into any sort of gift with purchase or a LEGO set full stop. I don't mind it because I don't think that enough people are going to go nuts and drive the price up for anybody on the aftermarket, but for me, I'm happy to get 2 extra hobbits. I don't mind the scene. I think it's fine, but I mean, who in their right mind over at LEGO is watching this murder scene and was like, hey, this one right here. This is what I want for my gift with purchase attached to the Shire. This murder, yeah, this is the one. For me, it was worth the pickup. I was going to get the Shire no matter what. So for me, it just kind of softened the blow for the price of the Shire. And it's 2 characters that we likely will never, ever see again in the form of LEGO. I know that there's supposed to be a Smeagol movie, Gollum, the Hunt for Gollum movie that's coming out, but I really can't imagine they're going to make sets for it, especially if they haven't made LEGO sets for the Rings of Power, as well as the War of the Rohirrim, which is that movie that released this past December. So I really can't foresee them making any kind of Smeagol, the Hunt for Gollum sets in the future. So if you want these 2 figures, this is probably the only time you're going to be able to get them in one set. Of course, you could always just buy the printed headpieces as well as the recolored Isaac Newton hair. For me, I'm just happy to have it. I think it's worth standing in line for. Speaking of standing in line, I want to briefly call out the Disney Springs staff members for the LEGO store release. Y'all were awesome. Only letting like a few people in at a time. The shopping experience on release day, chef's kiss. It was magnificent and very, very hassle-free. So thank you if you're a Disney Springs LEGO store worker. Let me know down in the comments if you made it all the way to the end. Rather than like a word to comment, I would like you to comment the words, "He's just sleeping," in reference to Smeagol and Deagol's fight on the embankment, because they're just sleeping. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next set. Bye-bye.